Hello, DevOps people. I'm back. My name is Jochen. Welcome to my stream. How is everyone? I'm sorry for starting late today. I completely lost track of time and realized only far too late that I was to start my live stream. Which is pretty funny because just previously we had a discussion on our team about failing in public, and yeah, um, I proved to be quite good doing this. Okay, so let me find back into today's topic. I started work on a restructuring of the models of our dashboard Rails application in my last session on Tuesday, and I'm going to follow up on this today. Um, Here is last week's agenda. As always, I maintain my agendas named .plan on this GitHub repository. And I've also started to link my session recordings, which I put on YouTube, in the agenda issue. So if you'd like to watch an earlier session, you can do so by simply picking the issue from the probably list of closed agenda items, and there should be at least a link for the recent sessions. So I'm going to close the Tuesday issue and create a new one, new issue .plan for today, and we'll still work on Rails model restructuring because I'm far from done with this. I'll assign myself agenda issue, and that's the agenda for today. Mudstart, hey, how you doing? Glad to have you on the stream. I appreciate you joining me. How are you doing today? Well, okay, yeah. Since I surprised myself with today's session, I probably need a few minutes to switch my brain from doing one-on-ones with my team to coding, which is quite a different kind of work. So what I did last time is that I extended the models of our hosting dashboard, and just to recap, for historical reasons, our model associations that connect dashboard and dashboard users, aka customers, with websites, which they configure on our hosting dashboard. These associations are pretty complex and also limiting in what we can do with them. And that's why I've started to restructure them in a way that will enable us to be more flexible in assigning permissions, and especially in correlating websites and users, because the company that owns a website might not be the company that employs the web developer working on that website. And that's one thing where our current database schema is too rigid, because it can only connect a single company. And as I just mentioned, there most of the time there are two companies involved in the daily in the daily maintenance of a website. So what I did is I introduced a new model named website collaboration, and it connects a website directly to a user, regardless of the company that owns the website and the company that employs the user. Which might be the same, but most of the time, since we mostly are dealing with web agencies, not. So, this association works. Let me just run the tests again to be sure. Last time I only ran my RSpec tests, which should be green. However, the CI integration, which I built a few weeks ago on another live stream, told me that I forgot to run my style tests. These style tests fail at the moment because of auto-generated files. So I guess just to clean up after myself, I'll run these style tests next. Apart from these deprecation warnings, the tests are fine. So let me run is it Ruby break Rubocop? It is. At least one file. Two. Okay, that's not too much. Yeah, well, I didn't add too many files last time. So it's in the factory, factory file which I didn't even touch last time. I'll have to fix that with trailing white space and an extra empty line. And the website collaboration spec that was auto-generated, and there I need to replace the quote signs from single quotes to double quotes, because in my style guide definition I'm preferring double quotes, if at all possible. So that should be over here. Yes, I'd like to write to it. That's one thing done, and then I'll have the factory for website collaboration. And yeah, there's far too many empty lines. That should be that. Let's run it again. Much better. Okie doke. Let's push it to give Travis CI a bit of work. And now let's return to what needs to be done now. So now I can correlate websites to users, which is the main thing I wanted to do, but this has, of course, consequences. And in the end, I need to have some kind of user interface that allows people to add new users to a website, and especially now that we already have an existing database where users are connected indirectly to websites over clusters and companies that own the clusters and stuff. There needs to be a way to get from the old model to the new model. And it'll probably start with people being able to add users to websites. What I built last time was a one-time script that takes all websites, goes to their parent cluster, from there to the owning company, and from there to all the users this company has, and adds them as users of the website. So I can populate my new model with the same semantics that we have at the moment. All the users of a company can access or maintain a website. It's as simple as that, and we'd like to do more complex things in the future. That's exactly the reason why I'm doing this. However, this is just a snapshot, and as soon as new websites are added or new users are added, my new model here needs to be updated, and we'll probably need a way for people to add new users. And of course, I'd like to be able to limit the number of people that who can actually add new users. This everyone can everything thing needs to be become a bit more specific, and so I thought it would be best to extend my new model to not only act as an intermediate table between website and users, but also carry information about this relationship. In other words, I'd like to assign roles to users. This user is connected to this website because he owns it. This user is connected to the website because she's allowed to update the code, but probably not to delete the website or to change its domain names or things like that. What I'd like to do is to add a new attribute to this model and assign it a role. And now I have to think about how I'm going to implement this. Because as soon as I start typing into my console here, Rails generate migration add role to website collaboration, I should add the field name, which probably will be role. And now the question is, what is role going to be? Of course, I could add a new model website collaboration role, and I could add as many roles as I want. And I could also add permissions to that table, or I could simply go ahead and hard code everything, because I think the number of roles will be quite limited. At the moment I mostly see owner and collaborator. What do the guys at GitHub actually do? Collaborator roles? Access permissions on GitHub. owner access on a repository, collaborator access on a repository, and that's that. Yeah, and I think we are pretty much in the same situation, aren't we? Only the owner can invite collaborators. Only the owner can delete things. Change the high-level stuff. Define code owners. Or archive a repository. Okay, what's a code owner, by the way? Okay, interesting. It's the first time I see that. I can create a code owners file in a repository. It's basically documentation. Nice. Or is it? It's not just a... Okay, I can list people with their names. Oh, all right. But no, I digress. So I wonder if I just use an enum here that knows two values, owner and collaborator. Let's start with an enum. We can replace this with a whole new model association at a later time. So we'll just make this an integer. Let me see. I think I already have something like that. It's not the user. I think the website model does have... Oh, it's here. Nope. Let me see. There's somewhere I've already used an enum. Oh yeah, it's about the status of a website. Okay. Here we are. Okay. Which means so status is an integer, not null, with default 0. Yeah, we can do that. Where is my... As always, if my thought process is confusing you, if I'm talking about things you don't understand, or if there's anything else I can help you with, just write me a chat message and I'll be happy to chat with you. So here's our new migration. And we'll say default is 0 and null false. And let's run this migration. to run it in the test environment as well. And let's see, it should have updated the file. Yep, now we have a role, so we can say enum role and what does it look like? And then we'll have just an array of symbols here. Okay. So I guess since we default to the first one, I'd say we'll take collaborator as the first, and then owner as the second role. And we can also write a test. It defaults to it has collaborator as default role. Oh, we don't even need to create it, we can just build it without accessing the database. No, if we don't access the database, we don't get the default value, do we? Okay, let's create one. And we can simply say website 0 user 0. Expect call role 2 equals 0. Nope. It's probably a good idea to make this the focus test for the time being, so that I don't run all the tests. Of course, that's syntactically complete rubbish. And I'll have to replace this. Since I've added the focus keyword, it only runs my 3 tests here. And there is no website collaboration factory. And I wonder why not, because there is something like that, isn't there? Collaborations. Okay. That's not how it's supposed to be, is it? I think I did something wrong with singular and plural here. That's not even the factory. wait, I'm confusing myself here. Website collaborations. That's the one. Oh yeah, I forgot to rename this one. I started out naming the model website user and then decided to rename it to website collaboration. So that should do the trick. Ooh. Association type mismatch. I can't just go around and create associations where the associated models don't exist. So, okay. Then give me just a website and a user. Okay, nice. So Rails actually translates the role from an integer to the enum that I used. So I'd say I should be able to do something like this. Or should it be a string? I guess it should be a string. We'll see. Yeah, I'm restarting after a long break doing Rails coding, so there are a few things that I need to relearn here. Yep, I can't use the symbol, I need to use the string. Which at the moment seems to me to be convenient, because I can use a word instead of a meaningless integer value. On the other hand, it's strange that I'm dealing with an integer field that with its attribute returns a string. Okay, nice. I like it. So at the moment everyone will become a collaborator and no one will become an owner, and we're going to fix this as our next action. However, I like to do more commits here. I'll do a commit for my factory fix. Hey Yuri777, welcome to the stream. Thanks for following, I really appreciate it. It helps the channel. That's that. I hope you're doing fine on this sunny day. And now let's commit this as add role to website collaborator. Okay, as I said, at the moment everyone will become a collaborator and no one will own the website anymore if we just look at this association. So I'll go back to my admin script. And I guess I find each will find my customer users in order of how they appear in the table, isn't it? How does find each actually work? Active record. Because if I just take the first user of each company, which probably is someone who created the company entry in the dashboard anyway, so it should be someone in a central position. It at least is a good guess that making this person the owner of all the websites will make sense. So let me see, find each. Use each record that was found by the find options. So I can add conditions. I can also normal find each does not use given order but uses ID ascending, which is exactly the behavior I'd like to happen. Okay. So I'll simply use a flag variable. And as soon as I assigned the first person as an owner, I'll stop assigning people as owners. And of course I'll need to assign this role. And let's start thinking about style. Okay, so if I delete all the website collaborations in my development database, website collaboration, delete all. And then I can run admin, no, it's lib / admin scripts, populate website collaborations. That was quick. And let me see, website collaboration, all, and just pluck the roles. It's all owners now, but that's probably because I don't have enough users in my development data set. If these are all websites with a single user, of course that single user will always be the owner of a website. I probably should have a more diverse development data set. Let me see how we seed this development database in the first place. We create an admin user, we create an orphan user, we create a customer user. And from there we only create, we only have a single company with a single user here. Let's just create a second user. For that company. Okay. And I should be able to run this interactively as well, shouldn't I? Let me see. If I take this, and it's customer company, which is probably the last company. How many companies do we have? Company count 2. Okay, so customer company would be company last. And then, okay, it didn't copy this, so let's see if I do. Nope, maybe I can... No, that'll insert it directly. Maybe I should... Okay, if I use tmux, it'll use too much. I don't want to run the whole seed process from the start because I'd have to shut down my application container, don't I? Yeah. How would I do this with my Docker setup here? I'll have to do that again later anyway, I think, so it's good to find out how this works. If I stop my app container, database should be okay, but then I would have to run another app container to have, and I need to run my seeding job. That's awkward. Is this a deadlock? I need the application container to run the seed, but with the application container running, I can't drop the database and recreate it. Very strange. You know what? I'll just see what happens. Reinitializing the website is documented here in the README. Initializing the application database. Oh, yeah, should have looked there earlier. It's documented here. Of course, because if I stop the original app container, the web application will be gone, and then I can use docker compose run app, which will not launch the web application because I pass in a different command. So let's do exactly this, and I'll go ahead and do it over here so I can read. Docker compose stop app. Obviously I had to do this before, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to document it. Docker compose run app bundle exec rake db migrate reset and db seed, which is exactly what I want to do. Interesting. Native extensions always take a lot of time because it has to compile stuff. And Slayer Darth is back. Welcome. How you doing, buddy? You released your first 2 NPM packages last night. Thumbs up, man. So you're releasing gems and NPM packages and Python stuff as well. You're really you are a powerhouse, man. Good for you. So, Carbon Post and ftpong. So, yeah, the latter one is your FTP utility, isn't it? I think you've mentioned that before. And what does Carbon Post do? Okay. I hope this works now. Oh, come on. Ah, yeah, of course. It's because I'm launching a new container here, and so I need to run docker compose build app. I need to update the actual image. It tries to determine the publication date of a blog post. If one is not given, how does it do that? What information do you gather that allows you to guess the date? So you're actually doing some sleuthing using discuss comments, assuming that the first comment will be near the publication date, and the Google archive. Oh, that's brilliant. I like it. Very sneaky. Hey Maynell, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Once again, we are waiting for Nokogiri to compile. Thank you for following, Maynell. I'm very happy about each and every follower I get. Check for links in the article. Yeah, that's real detective work you're doing there. You had to follow because of my accent. That's interesting. Yeah, it's I know it's a strange accent. I'm a German living in Ireland, and so I probably sound like both, or like any of them. I hope it's not too distracting. Oh, come on. But good to see you're doing fine. I do too. Weather's brilliant outside. We have completely blue sky. little bit of wind as always here. And I'm sitting here doing some Rails coding, which isn't the worst of things. I really enjoy it. I'm pretty happy that I returned to working on our hosting dashboard here. It had been neglected for far too long, and it's time we beef it up a little bit. By the way, speaking of accent, you also can hear my accent on the latest episode of the 21st Century Work Live podcast, where I was interviewed about our remote work setup and especially how we communicate. So this one here, working out loud in remote teams. And actually in one of the future episodes of this podcast, they will cover my live stream here. Yeah, being interviewed on 21st Century Fox would be probably bit more high level and put me into a quite bigger audience, but I'm still very happy that people consider my opinion on remote work, on organizing distributed teams and stuff, valuable enough that they invite me to their podcast. And without plugging this too much, the podcast is really great, even if they don't interview me. Okay, so we have a new container image. Will we be able to nuke our database now? Looks like it. Nice. Ooh. In the end it broke. Why? Duplicate key value. Oh, did I? Authentication token. What's with that? Where's the seed file? Okay, I can't use a duplicate authentication token here, so let's change this into collaborator and owner. I didn't notice this before. Okay, that's that, and now we need to rebuild the test database as well. It's db migrate reset, then db test prepare for Rails and test. Go, and then we can simply start the official app container again. All right, so let's go back to our Rails console here. I've been sitting at this desk for too long today. My butt is starting to hurt. So we should be able to run another website collaboration, delete all, and then another populate, exactly. And now let's look at website collaboration. If we just take the roles, yeah, so we have an alternating line of the same two users for each and every website, and the first one is always collaborator, the next one owner, collaborator, owner, collaborator, owner. And it's an odd number of websites because probably the first website belongs to the admin company, which would be my company, and then we have our client company here, and oh no, it's the other way around, isn't it? The owner is the one, because 0 is the default value as the collaborator, so it's owner, collaborator, and in the end we have a single website with a single user who is a collaborator, because I didn't no, that's not it. Let's take a look at user is Postgres. That doesn't make sense. Three, 1, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. Let me see. 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. 3 is always the owner, and 4 is the collaborator. 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 4. Okay. Yeah. I should take a closer look at the data I'm generating here. Obviously, I only create customer websites in my development data. But anyway, it seems to work. Actually, let's take a look at where we create websites. Here I create a number of websites for? Oh, that's a function. Here I create a website for a user, which is the customer company. Still, yeah, that's the only part. Okay, so I think that the insight I got today is mostly that my development example data is too sparse. It has far too few special cases and stuff like that, because there seems to be only a set of normal customer databases for a single customer. And yeah, it should be more diverse, I guess, even though in my test suite I create much more edge cases and stuff, and that's the most important part. But still, that being said, I probably should check this in a test anyway. But I guess that can happen when I add the actual business logic for adding users to websites, which won't be today. Even though I started late, I'd like to finish in time, and that time is almost here. And I think I'm happy with the little bit I managed to do. So that's fine. Let me check in what I have. Why did it change the schema file here? Ah, it's that stuff again. Okay. I don't care about that. And here I add a new user type, and yeah, okay. So I can commit this under populate website collaboration with roles. That's that, but before I push this, let's run the whole test suite, including style tests and stuff, so to make sure that CI won't crap out. See, that's exactly what I meant. Do not use spaces. Okay. I will not use spaces then. Here we are. Oh no, that was the wrong way around. So. Good. See, that's why I run the whole test suite. I forgot to add an index here, which makes perfect sense if I connect to models or to tables that I need to have some kind of index on this. And now I wonder, do I roll back the previous migrations and add it to... No, I don't. That's too hacky. Let's just add another migration then. New migration, add indexes to website collaboration. And I'll simply look up how I dealt with add index before. This is all in schema RB. Let's see how we do migration. No, no migration. Yeah, oh, it's migrate. Add index, name, field. Okay, easy. Add index. Wait, how are they named? Oh, I don't name them the index at all. I just tell it website collaboration, user ID, and index website collaboration, website ID. Start from there. Role doesn't need an index, I guess. Do I make this a... No, they are both not unique, so I'll be fine. Alright, so... Great. Oops. It's website collaborations. This always trips me up. Tables are named in plural, but the model classes are named in singular. Here we go. Now let's see how rake test behaves. Oh, I forgot to run the test migration. Oh, and I should remove the focus keyword. Let me close this and here. After all, I should run more than just 3 tests here. It's much better, 289 tests. Yeah, I really should take a few minutes to resolve these deprecation warnings by upgrading a few gems here, but yeah, that's great. Everything worked out, and I should commit this stuff. It's all about indexes for website collaboration. And if I push this, the CI test should run fine as well. I'll see that later. Alright folks, that's it for today. If you have any questions, if you have any feedback for me, please leave it in the issue for today's session here on GitHub. Simply add a comment and I'll be happy to respond there. I guess we can check off Rails model restructuring for today. And I'll upload the recording of today's session to YouTube and add the link to this issue as well. So if you like to watch it again, or if you joined us late, you will be able to watch it both on Twitch, and even if Twitch removes it in a few weeks' time, you'll still be able to get it from YouTube then. Thanks for joining me here for today. Thanks for the chat, and especially thanks for following me, even if it's only for my accent. It really helps the channel if you follow it, so if you haven't done so yet, please do. And I guess that's it. I'll see you all next Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. GMT. And until then, cheers.